All right, we're live. I am here in the Behind the Bits studio with Jamie Dykes from over in the UK. How you doing, Jamie?
Yeah, I'm really good. You okay?
Yeah, yeah. So you were
Good.
actually introduced to me by a guy by the name of Matt Napo who does the Mind Dog podcast,
Yeah, great
and
guy.
we've both been guests on that. So that's a pretty cool podcast. And he said you're a cool guy, and I watched some of your stuff, and you're pretty good. So it's good to have
Thanks.
you on.
Oh, we're glad to be here. Glad.
So the way we do this, Jamie, is while we're live, I do a rapid round and I ask everybody the same questions while we're on the rapid round. And this is like the entertainment tonight type questions that everybody asks. And then when we get off of here, we can really talk about comedy and everybody will just have to tune in and listen to hear the interview. So
Well,
this is a teaser, folks. So what part of the UK are you from?
Wales, South Wales to be
Okay.
precise.
Okay. Cool. What's the weather like today?
Isn't down. It's absolutely we're soaking. Just hasn't stopped all day since the moment I woke up. It just hasn't stopped. We're supposed to have a heat wave this week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sue the meteorologists. I think the Met Office. They do the job they promised.
No doubt, no doubt. So, how long ago did you start doing stand up?
July of last year, July 2019. So I'm
Cool.
a little over a year into it. I told you I'm doing it shortly over a year, so I'm not like a comedy vet yet.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, yeah, I've had massive interest in comedy for years since I was a kid, but best part of a year that I've been doing it for now. So
So you're kind of a newbie, but based on
yeah,
what I've seen, you've kind of established a persona and the way you want your act to go. So that looks pretty good.
yeah, I'm sort of shaping up my own little act and trying to sort of tailor it together. But it's a work in progress, let's say. But yeah, I've done a few gigs. I'm happy with what I've done so far. Hopefully, there's gonna be a lot more to come in the next few weeks when more lockdown restrictions are eased. So yeah.
So what are the restrictions? What level are you at as far as easing restrictions uh,
Well,
and
it was
stuff?
only Monday just gone. In Wales, in particular, they started to open up pubs and restaurants where you can actually go indoors to eat and drink. A few weeks before that, they opened up restaurants and bars, but you can only go outside.
Uh,
But as of now, you can actually go indoors, but you're limited numbers, and I think you've got to wear a mask or use an app to get people bringing food and drinks to your table. So yeah, I don't think the comedy scene's started back up yet under new rules. But yeah, I'm just waiting for the call, see what gigs come about, and get on the list, get applying for spots.
Great. That's cool. That's pretty close to where we're at. And we've actually, I'm close to Chicago, and a lot of the clubs in Chicago, or a few of the clubs, are starting to do some indoor shows. But it looks weird with the social distancing because
Yeah,
you can't be up by the stage and you can't fill the room. But a lot of outdoor stuff's going on too. I've done one outdoor show and hopefully doing another one. And that's again, it's not ideal, but at least you're doing stand up, so that's cool.
yeah, doing stand up. Yeah, I did try and I did have a look at online gigs. There was a few people that I know have done the Zoom gigs and stuff.
Yeah.
It works for a certain type of comic, and I encourage anyone just to get out their craft as best they can. But for me, I thought about it, and it doesn't seem to be for me or for my particular type of comedy, at least anyway. But it works for some, and I just don't think it would work for me. So yeah,
Yeah, I agree with you there. I actually do a few, but I don't do my normal stuff. I either do current event stuff or I've got some characters that I do and stuff like that. But yeah, it's I only do it just so I can be with other comics and see how they do it. Some of them are so good at it. And
yeah, some of them really impressive. Yeah,
yeah, and I feel like it's going to probably carry on, some form of this comedy is going to carry on with the Zoom type mics and stuff like that, simply because, we're getting introduced to people that we normally wouldn't work with and making connections and stuff like that. But, I'm not going to fly out to LA and do a set there, even though I've met some people out there,
yeah,
because I'm not ready for it yet. But those types of things are good. And, I like watching them more than I like doing them. So I
yeah,
know how you
yeah.
feel.
That's the impression I got myself. Is I think I enjoy watching some of them if I've known a friend of mine or two that's done them. But I don't think it'd be for me personally. I don't think I'd give it my all. Not because I wouldn't want to. I just didn't feel like I would feel genuine as a comic doing my bit online. So.
And your stuff is really, like it's kind of like my stuff. It's more geared to be in person with an audience.
Yeah.
If you said that stuff on Zoom, I mean, you'd have to change it up so much it wouldn't even be the same act.
Yeah, of course, yeah. It's I think we would probably need to hear someone laughing or a bit of a ooh.
Yeah.
It's just the silence of the whole thing. I've just never really been into. So far, I've never had an audience which has gone silent on me. I've had people go,
yeah,
edgy. But I prefer that than complete silence. At least you get some form of emotion or some form of feedback.
Yeah, any reaction is good, even if it's a boo, it's good because that means they're listening. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll take a boo over dead silence.
Yeah, no doubt. So, who were your influences as far as stand-up comedy is concerned? I mean, who did you look to as saying, "Hey, they do that, I want to do that, and I want to be kind of like them"?
I think me and Mr. Napo have covered a little piece of this. It's a mutual obsession with Doug Stanhope.
Oh yeah, love him.
So
Yeah.
Doug Stanhope is, he is like God as far as comedy goes in my eyes. But I don't think I watched him and thought he's what makes me want to do stand up. He's got me into stand up comedy. But I don't know. I think it probably goes back to when I was a kid. It's watching little sketch shows on TV. Me and my brother used to watch TV shows that weren't really for kids, but we did. So like programs like Hale and Pace and the Frank Skinner Show or Badil and Skinner Unplanned weren't massive stand-up comics as such, but the bits they done, the sketches they done were really interesting. And then as I got a little bit older, we started to watch things like Billy Connolly and Robin Williams, and later on then Frankie Boyle, Scottish comic, who's absolutely phenomenal.
I love Billy Connolly.
He's incredible. Yeah, I think my father got me and my brother to watch one of his gigs when we were a bit younger, but he was so hilarious because of the physicality, the way he sort of acts out his jokes, if you like, as well. It's just so good. But so I think it was kind of like an amalgamation of all these guys I watched when I was growing up. But I think it was then in later life the Frankie Boyle and the Doug Stanhope that made me think, not want me to do comedy like them, but sort of give me the little nudge that I needed to think, okay, this is what I want to do. Obviously, you got your George Carlins in there as well, and you had your Dave Chappelle, which even though I think Doug Stanhope is my ultimate all-time favorite comic, I think Chappelle is what everyone classes as the GOAT because he is. Right.
Yeah, and Stanhope is really the GOAT of the type of comedy that he does, which I mean, he really goes to the edge of what you should say and what you shouldn't say, but he does it in a way that it's so personal to him that he can get away with it. And I think it's cool that he can do that. The stuff about his mom, I mean, holy cow, that's just good stuff. And
it's an amazing piece though. It's an amazing bit, and he goes into like the assisted suicide the alleged assisted suicide of his mother, and then goes right into credit card fraud and religion. It's incredible the way he structures his jokes and pulls them all together. Yeah, he speaks from the heart. Whether you think his heart is dark and twisted, it's not the point. He speaks a truth. He speaks his truth, and he's just got he's a great storyteller. I think that's why he's so good. He's great at telling stories.
And he's a sweet guy. Every comic that's ever worked with him says he's a sweet guy too.
Yeah, he's one of the nicest guys you meet. I've seen him. I've met him. I've seen him twice live when he's come to the UK. I'm hoping to go and watch him again in October, but I don't think that's happening this year. So he's worth watching live if you've never seen him. Watch him live.
Yeah, great. So this is kind of off topic, but one of the questions I'm asking everybody, and I like this because another podcaster did it and I thought it was good. Are you reading any books, listening to any podcasts, getting into any music that is kind of changing your life or just making things better, gave you a light bulb moment? Anything that you're consuming that is helping you out?
I suppose my sort of I don't particularly sit down and plan to write a specific joke, but if something will just pop up in the news or something, well, I'll watch a documentary about Jeffrey Epstein, and I think I can write a piece on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's just at the moment the new set that I'm working on is working on a set of all new material. That's basically just all things that have just been raised from the COVID-19 situation and other things that have popped up in the news and related to it. But you know, it just all fits into the set the way, or at least I hope it's going to fit into the set anyway. So yeah, I suppose more like it's topical currently, you know. So
Yeah.
But podcast wise, I listen to a bit of Joe Rogan, I suppose, like everyone else does. The Dykes Stand-Up podcast as well. Issues with Andy podcast. It's primarily a podcast made up of a few friends of Doug Stanhope and a few comics, which is it's a good show. It's a really good show. But yeah, it's just a little bit of everything at the moment. I think really it's giving me a little bit of encouragement.
Yeah, that's great. Last question for the rapid round. What I can't read my writing. What comedy album or special would you say is your all-time favorite?
I'd probably go with Doug Stanhope, No Refunds.
Okay, cool.
So a couple of Dave Chappelle ones on Netflix are phenomenal, but yeah, I'd probably go with Doug Stanhope, No Refunds as being the gold standard for me. So raw, so edgy is perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, no, I take that back. It's raw, it's edgy, it's unperfect.
Yeah.
That's why it's so perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, being imperfect and being in the moment is really the mantra of that particular show. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Okay, folks. The rapid round is over. We're getting to know Jamie a little bit. If you want to hear the whole interview, you have to subscribe to Behind the Bits podcast. It's on all the apps. Just type in Behind the Bits, hit the subscribe button, and it'll download automatically for you, and you can listen whenever you want. So thanks for watching. But we're going to go away and talk